Good evening. The number of people seeking asylum in the UK has reached a record high, according to the latest official figures. A total of 111,000 applications were made in the year to June. That's the highest number for any 12-month period since records began in 2001. The number of asylum seekers staying in hotels was more than 32,000. That's up on the same point last year. The figures show the government has made progress in tackling the backlog in asylum claims. Here's Alex Forsyth.
They've become a focal point for frustration, protests and counter-protests outside hotels housing asylum seekers, a fraught issue that's caused local tension and political pressure. The West London suburb of Hillingdon has more asylum seekers living in hotels than anywhere else in the country, and people here have noticed.
It's not fair.
Why not?
No, why should they have our hotels? They're for the likes of us people, do you know what I mean? We have to pay everywhere we go and whatever, they're getting everything for nothing when they come over in this country.
I don't like it.
Why?
Because I don't think they should be here. I know they're humans and all the rest of it, but do it the proper way.
My parents were left Jamaica many moons ago. I wholeheartedly agree they want a better life, but something needs to be done to control the numbers.
To blame kind of issues of like housing or jobs or wage and stuff on migrants, I don't see it as a particularly useful argument, personally.
You agree?
Yeah, 100%. It breaks my heart a little that these people, are coming to escape such awful things and they're just being scapegoated immediately.
A few months ago, the BBC filmed here with a charity supporting asylum seekers living in tents after leaving hotels. Signs of a system under strain. But the government insists it is making progress.
We are processing claims more quickly than the last government did. They had a huge backlog of unprocessed claims, where that means we can let people get on with their lives if they're meant to be here, or we can deport people if they're not meant to be here. We're also working at source to smash the gangs that are smuggling people in really dangerous ways.
Ministers have promised to end the use of hotels altogether, but in the short term aren't clear on alternatives. Critics say they should do more to stop people crossing the channel in the first place.
The reason people end up in asylum hotels is because illegal immigrants are crossing the English Channel. We need to stop that completely, and the way to do that is to have a deterrent.
There's huge political pressure around this issue, and when you speak to people in communities like this with strongly held views on all sides, you understand why. The government blames the system it inherited from the Conservatives when hotel use reached a peak, but it is still grappling to get the numbers down. And while small boat arrivals make up less than half of all asylum claims, that and hotels have become a visible focus for people's frustration.
There is a feeling that can we afford to be spending so much on hotels, that the bill from that is that detracting from investment in public services, from supporting working families at a time of need. And I think there is a feeling amongst the public that the hotel policy in particular is not the best use of government resources at a time when lots of people are struggling.
There might be no simple answers, but this is an issue that's troubling both politicians and communities. Alex Forsyth, BBC News, Hillingdon.
Well, the government says the UK came fifth in Europe in terms of asylum applications, behind Germany, Spain, Italy and France. Ministers also said they were bringing legal migration under control with a big reduction in work visas. Daniel Sanford is here to take a closer look at today's immigration statistics. Daniel.
Thanks, Rita. Let's first look at that political hot potato, the number of asylum seekers living in hotels at taxpayers' expense. As we've heard, the new figure for June this year is just over 32,000, a slight reduction on the previous quarter, but it is still higher than June last year, just before Labour came to power, promising to end the use of hotels by the next election. On the other hand, it is way below the peak of over 56,000 in 2023 under the Conservatives. On this map, the darker areas have the highest number of asylum seekers getting financial support relative to the local population, with Glasgow, Birmingham and Hillingdon in West London at the top of the list. But the most striking figure today is the record number of asylum applications. In the year to June, more than 111,000 people claimed asylum. That's 8,000 higher than the previous peak way back in 2002. Just under 40% of the asylum seekers arrived in a small boat, and half of them were granted asylum at the first stage in the process. 11% arrived by other irregular routes such as lorries, while 37% had arrived on a normal work, study or visitor visa or a similar document, but then claimed asylum. The nationalities with the highest number of asylum applications were Pakistan, who were mostly refused, followed by Afghanistan, Iran, Eritrea and Bangladesh, who were also mostly refused. For those who want lower overall immigration, there was some good news away from the asylum system. There have been significant drops in visas being granted, with work visas down 36%. In particular, work visas for care workers down 88% and nurses down 80%. Visas for dependents of students are down 18% after a change in the rules. So, a mixed picture for the government, with the large numbers of people housed in hotels at public expense still causing huge frustration, and the most pressing problem of all remaining, the record number of migrants arriving on small boats despite that election promise to smash the gangs. Rita.
Daniel, thank you. Israel's Prime Minister